breaking news at MSNN, Ministry of Souls News Network, with your host, Grim Rapier. Hi, I'm your host, Grim Rapier, your lovable host with the skeletal most, with a newsflash. This just in. Oh my God. So remember in my last live, I said to the American people and the British people, my way of thanking you for helping me through this transition, rising to rise like the phoenix to take my place as the all-seeing eye of the stars. I'd be taking down Donald Trump and Keir Starmer's governments for you. How long did that take to come to fruition? Like 2 days? A day and a half? Gonna do my evil laugh now. I keep telling them over and over, Elon Musk is coming under fire as well, so it's like it's all going off. It's my hairdryer dream, where I had the dream with the lasers firing out of the clouds and everybody running into hiding because they knew they were done for. I'll put a link in the description box below. I was 100% spot on. And I kept saying to them, don't push me, don't push me, don't push me. They started threatening my family, my peace, my place of living. They threatened the love of my life, my best friend, my children. They tried everything. They stole money from my account. They keep trying to shut my internet down. They keep trying to shut my accounts down. They have done everything to try and shut me up. And the thing was, if you go to my posts and that I've been putting up since all hell broke loose, you'll see the videos of me when I was locked up because I recorded it, which is another reason why they took my phone off me for all those weeks, because they knew I was recording evidence and putting it out about my torture. And the doctors and that, they really, really did not think for 1 second that this was going to come back to bite them in the ass. But I said to them, I'm going to use all of this against you and I'm going to play your game while I'm here. But once I get out, I'm coming after you. When they used to force me to medicate, I'd take those pills and I'd say a mil per pill and raise my fist. And they used to laugh and think I was nuts because I was saying, like, when I get out of here, I'm going to sue you for £1 million for every pill you forced me to swallow for telling the truth. Because they knew I was getting close to, I had already started back in my blog days calling out people like Hillary Clinton and Podesta and all that for the whole human trafficking, frazzled rip thing. Until those planes and helicopters started going down after Trump got in. And I did those investigations and I started linking them with him and Musk. And then that's when I started putting all the Epstein puzzle pieces together. And if if you see something, you got to say something. And I work for God and I speak the truth. Just like these breaking news flashes, which I can't wait to do in the cartoon, in the animated series, but I was spot on about everything. They tried to shut me out. I started my blog in 2013. I started working with the military boys who were coming to me with the PTSD and information around about 2016, and that's when all hell started breaking loose with Hillary Clinton being behind it. And I kept pumping out codes and pumping out codes. People were laughing and saying I was nuts. I was stabbed in the shoulder. I have a long scar on my shoulder from my ex-husband stabbing me in my sleep with a dirty needle. I had to have emergency surgery because they kept trying to make me look like I was a drug addict, putting the pizza and the cocaine and all that. With the police not helping me because they were all told to just like shut up and leave me alone. Every lawyer, every news outlet. The thing was, the stuff that was happening to me should have been enough to have blown the lid wide open on Sunak's government, Starmer's government, Trump and Biden and that while it was happening, and all of it, the whole lot of it, Johnson, all of it. What was happening to me should have been enough to be an international controversy in itself. But because of the fact I was dealing with prime ministers, presidents, billionaires, millionaires, people who ran tech companies and stuff like that, I had no hope in hell. And that's what they were relying on. They were relying on the fact that if they got Chris and everybody else to remove the support from me, that I'd crumble. But all it did was gave me the peace and quiet to master my science. And then I turned into a physics supernova. So when I said to you the other day, my way of saying thank you to America and Great Britain for looking after me while I had to become what I was destined to become, is to take down the American government and the British government to take all your problems away so that we can pull those towers down, clear out the debris and rebuild. I wasn't joking. And now what? 24, 48 hours later, all hell's broken loose and the towers are starting to crumble. So I put myself out there. I risked my life. I risked everything to do right by the people because even though I didn't know it back then, I was working for God. And I have always had a strong sense of justice. And if I see an injustice, I have to say something, even if it puts my own life at risk. Like those 3 boys that got attacked with the machetes at the back of my ex-husband's house. I was the only one. I was literally standing around with crowds of people watching me hold those boys' organs inside their bodies, stopping that boy's leg, ankle, foot from coming off. Because when they got attacked by those machetes, I saw what was going on, and that boy reached out to me and said, help me please. And it was like my mum instincts kicked in. And before I knew it, I was like, oh my God, I had like tea towels and paper towels and that holding organs, and I had my foot on one guy's side trying to keep his organs in because they were like starting to like spill out of his body. I had another kid who had like vicious stab wounds all over his head and body, trying to crawl away with his ankle hanging on by a thread basically, and I witnessed the whole thing. And I went in there. As I was coming out the door, the 4 assailants were leaving. So like, I risked everything to save the life of 3 African boys. I think they were Somalians, but nobody would help them because of, I'm not wearing a mask and gloves and COVID and they're drug addicts and blah, blah, blah. All I saw was 3 kids dying in an alleyway. I'm fearless. When it comes to telling the truth, I'm fearless. When it comes to children and America, because I wanted to immigrate to America. I had my heart set on immigrating to America. My kids and I had always planned that we would start our lives in America ever since I married my American husband, Martin Arche, who ended up leaving me for the pedophile, Rocio Ray Nunez. They all slept with the pedophile. I call her a pedophile because she tried to kiss my son when he was 7. And they all teamed up. She went and told America that I was a threat to national security. When they saw what I was up to, they knew they couldn't risk me getting my stuff out there. So they then plotted and planned from around about 2017 to try and stop me from getting to America and becoming what I was trying to become, which was, get into TV and radio. And then obviously I was planning on building my art school, but on a smaller scale. When all that got taken from me, and then my ex-husband was trying to poison me with laced weed and all that sort of thing, I was then targeted with narcissistic abuse, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, all of it. My ex-husband had to do everything he could to stop me from getting to America, and that was by removing everyone and everything from my life, thinking it would shut me down and shut me up. But I'm a Scorpio, so I thrive in darkness. I live under rocks and that, so isolating me just gives me time to work on myself and master my skills, which is exactly what I did. So while my body was recovering from being able to eat food again, because I had been starved for so long and left without food for so long, not only with my ex-husband because of my food allergies, if he decided he wasn't going to buy me my special food, I had to go hungry. And he got me used to that. So when I got locked up, and they were refusing to, well, not refusing, they were just pretending like they forgot to get me food that didn't align with my allergies, even though they were a quote unquote hospital. Staff members were almost protesting at what was it called? Fieldhead Hospital. That's where they put me. She needs food. Like, we can't keep not giving her food. 5 days in a row, sometimes every, well, every week I was going without food, but sometimes it would be like up to 5 days in a row because I documented everything. I'd be denied food. So while I was being forced to take those little blue tablets, where I was saying a mil per pill, I was being starved, as well as going into anaphylactic shock twice a day with my scars splitting open and my guts falling out and blah, blah, blah. And they thought it would stop me. But all it did was made me more determined to get the truth out, because I thought, if they're doing this to me, what are they doing to people who don't know that they have rights and that they have the power in them to take these people down? And so while everybody sat and laughed and watched from the sidelines and poked and jeered and shut my internet off and tried to do this to stop me and tried to do that to stop me and, put that fake news up and spread that fake whatever, I just sat and mastered my physics and wrote my stories and wrote my games and defended Vladimir Putin and Russia, because if you see something, you got to say something, you got to speak the truth, and my brain can't live a lie anymore. My brain physically, like without even thinking, I pull people up on their bullshit, because my brain spots a lie so fast, I don't even register it as anything other than needing to call them out and speak the truth. My brain cannot physically function absorbing lies and untruths and injustice now. So, yeah. So while I've been sitting in my little fishbowl with everybody staring at me like a message in a bottle, Tardovsky in that movie, Tardovsky, when she's sitting in the bottle, the little indigenous fairy sitting in the bottle, and all the people are jeering and paying Tardovsky money to see this magic she's creating. She sees him at a drawing board, drawing up plans to build a funnel system so that she can get air to breathe, because he knows she's getting too big for the bottle. And if she gets too big for the bottle, he can't hold her and contain her magic and keep it all for himself, right? Elon Musk, obviously I figured out it was Elon Musk. I thought I was writing it about my ex-husband, Chris. Hang on, sip. So I've been sitting, doing my magic, getting everybody's attention for the right time, when God would come along and part the waves and say, look, everybody, look at the truth of what she's been doing. And that's just happened right now with what's happening with Keir Starmer and Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all of them. Everything that I said I was going to do, I'm achieving. Everything that God said was going to come for these people, because they came for me, because they came for my mission, they came for my purpose in life, and they came for Vladimir Putin, who he has stated over and over and over again, don't touch him. You don't touch him, because he's getting the Holy Land. He gets the New Jerusalem when all this is over. Don't touch him. He's the father to the new world that's been created, and if you touch him, then you're basically turning God into a liar, because God spells it all out in the book of Revelation what's coming. and I deciphered the codes of the Bible. So I was able to figure out exactly what was coming, which is one of the reasons why my predictions have been so spot on, because there's codes hidden in the Bible that nobody else sees that I saw, because nobody else does quantum magnetics. There's people out there claiming to be occult physicists, even though I only literally came up with that name a few weeks ago. But unless you know how to do quantum magnetics, you're never going to be able to read the binary system of the universe. Though there's people that try, like Elon Musk. And then, of course, when you take things from the universe that you're not allowed to take, or you're not ordained because it's not in your bloodline, it comes back as an infraction. So you're breaking a universal law, and then it all comes back on you. So everything that's happening to Trump, everything that's happening to Starmer, everything that's happening to Musk, and all of their little cohorts and minions is all because they didn't listen to my warnings. So now Trump's about to go down as promised. Starmer's government is about to go down as promised. That West Streeting, he can try and think that he can step up, but I'm telling you now, the new Prime Minister of Great Britain is someone who's never even gotten into politics before. It's like Starmer and Sunak were so bad that it encouraged this person to want to throw their hat in the ring to be Prime Minister, and they get the backing to do it. Having said that, for any Americans that are out there listening, don't be fooled by this Democrat Republic against each other bollocks. They're all on the same side. So with Trump going down, he's throwing Democrats under the bus, but they're both, God said, I'm taking Republicans and Democrats down. Use your head. Like, don't think that just because Trump is the worst offering in politics in America, that it means that you have to be able to, that you can fall back on the Democrats when you're dealing with people like Clinton and Pelosi, who you know for a fact, like, don't be so insular in your need to want to stay in your protective little bubble that you're willing to turn your back on the politicians who, before Trump was highlighted for being Lucifer, were just as bad. If you're earning $175,000 a year, how are you living in a $300 million house? You know, like, use your senses. The only way you're going to make sure, you can make sure that none of this ever happens in British or American politics again, is by making sure you get it right by who you allow to run for Congress, to run for Parliament, to become an MP, to run for President, to run for Prime Minister. Do background checks, please, and don't let them get away with anything. There are only two people, I can't think of a single Democrat, but then I don't really pay attention. I only pay attention when it comes to my codes and investigations, but what I can tell you is that there's two Republicans that I know have proven themselves to be upstanding, genuine, honest people, and they're the two that I've been hashtagging when I said to them during the Super Bowl, Trump and Musk are going to cause a diversion to steal America's gold. And I said, and it's got something to do with New York. And I put all the code, it's all there, like you can see it, it's all there. And I said to them, you need to check to see where the gold is, because they've stolen the gold. Well, now it's come out. Trump might be about to be under investigation, because it looks like $300 billion have gone missing in the first 100 days of his presidency. And I told you during the Super Bowl that they were planning on stealing from America and, do it as a diversion tactic. And the two people that I went to and I said, can you please investigate this? And they did. I know that one of them did start saying we need to go to Fort Knox and look at the gold and all that, was Paul Rand, and the other one is Thomas Massey. And now Thomas Massey, as you know, is responsible for this whole Epstein thing. What a brave, upstanding man he is. I know what he's going through because I've been standing up to Donald Trump too for the sake of the Epstein victims because, as you know, my whole history in the occult world and that led me to the human trafficking and the things that my Border Patrol agents and NYPD and CIA and Army boys and military boys and that were coming to me with stories that I couldn't ignore. And I had to do something. So then when I started working on them with it and the code started coming through, and then it started leading me to people like Hillary Clinton and Tom Hanks and Seth Green and all of that, that's when they started coming after me. It was because I reported about Tom Hanks that I lost my Facebook account. So, yeah, I'm heavily, heavily shadow banned. I never know if anyone's watching. So, yeah. So, anyway, yeah, so, sorry, I was just reading the thing. Yeah, so this is it. This is the cleansing. Everything I said that was coming all those years ago, everything I promised a couple of days ago, it's all coming into land. And it's all because they didn't listen to my warnings when God said, leave Russia alone. Starmer could have walked away, he could have resigned and walked away, and nobody would have been any wiser to his level of corruption. But now his whole government's falling down with him, and the same with Trump. Trump could have just left me alone, could have stopped threat. All he had to do was stop threatening Russia. We're sending troops. No, we're not. We're going to help Zelensky. No, we're not. We're sending missiles. No, we're not. Like, all they had to do, same with Biden, all they had to do was leave Russia and Vladimir Putin alone. God's chosen son, the father of the New Jerusalem. All they had to do was leave him alone, but they wouldn't. They kept threatening him. They kept sending Zelensky more money, and now he's under investigation as well, as you know, for all the fraud in that, because I keep saying, you're going down, you're going... I was naming them all. So next, watch, telling you all, this is the MSNN, a Ministry of Souls News Network breaking news bulletin. So now we've got Trump, Musk and Starmer and they're going down. Next is Zelensky, Macron and von der Leyen. You watch. Spain started threatening, so I started bringing up the codes about Spain. So Spain's is on God's watch list as of right now. It's all there on my X. I've been posting it all since I woke up this morning. I am so exhausted. I tell you, all I want to do is smoke a big fat joint, soak in a nice hot bath, hop into a big giant bed with a nice mattress and big comfy pillows and duvets and just cuddle up with my man and just watch some cartoons till I fall asleep. Although I'd probably get the munchies, so it might involve like a kebab or something at some point, but yeah, that's all I want. Weed isn't legal here. I have no money. I have no access. So yeah, it's like, okay, but that's what I want. I think I've earned it. I deserve the biggest bag of weed because it's the only thing I can take now that takes my pain away. Prior to me being tortured, there were some things that I could take for my pain that was prescription, but now because my guts and digestive system and throat and that have been so damaged, my body, and because I was left for so long without food and stuff, my body can't handle anything chemical now. I can't even put shampoo in my hair that has chemicals in it because then my skin gets all dry and itchy. So everything I do now has to be chemical free and organic because my body took such a hit from being tortured and poisoned and that for so long that I have to live a pure and organic life now. But I mean, that's not a bad thing because I was just turned 53 and somebody thought I was 31 the other day, so I must be doing something right. It's my products, which I sell in my store. So anyway, that's my breaking news flash. So everything I said, you know, when I promise something, I deliver. When God promises something, He delivers. So it's a warning to everybody else that are threatening Russia and Vladimir Putin. The next time you think about going after them, take a look at what's happening to Donald Trump and Keir Starmer. And then you need to think twice, because I know what's coming for von der Leyen, and it's swinging off the end of a rope. Now, the interesting thing is, you know, I've been saying about how they're going to bring back the death penalty. Rupert Lowe today, God, look, I'm really spilling the tea on this one. It's like I'm loose lips. I'm like Dober Drexel and Pearl Whitcomb having a wee goss on the couch. So, yeah, so anyway, the news on the street is, guys, that's the way Pearl talks. The news on the street is, guys, Rupert Lowe, the MP, the British MP, is starting to put the feelers out about doing a referendum to bring the death penalty back, which is exactly what I said was going to happen. Didn't I, Poppets? I said they're going to bring the death penalty back for countries just to deal with like the COVIDs and the genocidal maniacs and that, and von der Leyen's going to be one of them. I've seen it. She dies like she's like paralysed with fear when they drag her in handcuffs. Like she can't move her legs and they have to drag her. That's my evil laugh, because they didn't listen, because they thought they knew more than God. But that's because I call them the Antichrist movement. If you don't believe in God, you're not going to believe that His wrath is real until it's knocking on your door as karma. And she's about to get her door kicked in, because I know what's going to happen is military vehicles start going around their houses and rounding them all up, because I've seen it. Ardern, Trudeau, Chelsea Clinton was in the back of the van as well. That USAID and all that, it sounds like it's all people connected to Epstein and Soros. World Economic Forum minions all get rounded up and sent off for military trials. Doctors, judges, lawyers, cops, all of them, they all get rounded up in military vehicles and taken to a military camp where they're all tried. With big ones like von der Leyen, it's like The Hague. And you better believe I've been hashtagging the ICC on everything that I've been doing during these investigations, because I want justice. I want justice for the kids. I want justice for Vladimir. I want justice for my sons and for what happened to me. I want justice, and I'm getting it. And I'm getting it for all of you. Because remember, I keep saying what happens in America spreads around the world. And ends in the UK. So everything that's happening in America and Great Britain right now, as I speak, as I break this breaking news to you, it's going to happen around the rest of the world as well. Next big country to watch for the takedown of the government, Australia. I got you, mate. I grew up in Australia. I grew up in Perth, Belmont, Western Australia. So, and in Hurstville in Sydney when I was 17. So I've got you back, Australia. And my nephew's there in Queensland. He's going to be one of my voice actors. He may actually, he thinks he might be able to do the voice of Grim Rapper, yeah, but we'll see. I know who I know how I want Grim's voice to be, so we'll just see. He's going to be a voice of other characters, but yeah, he thinks he can do Grim Rapper, yeah, but we'll just see. we'll see if he fits the feel, so to speak. So if he can put the flesh on the bones. So yeah, so that's it. So just keep watching. Australia's about to tear their government apart, and there's about to be massive roundups of people within the next few months, and then they're going to be dragged in and out of these courts like you won't believe. And I had said, like, by this time next year, some of them won't even be alive, and I mean it. So here we go. This is where we get to the good bit. They should have just left me and Vladimir Putin alone, but no, they thought they knew, but they're learning now. So until next time, guys, just remember it's not gossip if it's news. Ka kite anō. Mwah. We're the first ones to predict the news before it happens. Boom. Boom.